In a world where toxic fog has pushed humanity to the brink of almost extinction, M.I.N.S.K here just announced does something new. See, here you step into the shoes of a robot, the last hope for its creator's survival, and your mission is to navigate through abandoned cities and survive, while uncovering a story filled with hope and love. Basically, the game's trying to offer a unique twist. The human sends messages to guide you, the robot, through missions, and as you explore, you're going to be facing all kinds of enemies, solve puzzles, and manage the resources. In fact, using abilities like jumping and climbing to overcome obstacles are the key. Currently available to be wishlisted on Steam, we're still waiting on a precise release date. Well, for better or worse, as of now, there are no official plans for a sequel to Days Gone, and recent reports indicate that Sony has cancelled several projects. And although the first game had been quite successful, the development for a sequel has not been greenlit. However, developers have said they won't confirm the status of Days Gone 2, because Sony hasn't officially announced it. We're gonna keep the hopes up, and if Days Gone taught us a few things on the journey, one of those was that nothing stays dead for too long.
Chernobylite 2 is an RPG set in the post-apocalyptic open world of Chernobyl wastelands.
Assuming you've missed on the recent updates, the Kickstarter campaign for Chernobylite 2 Exclusion Zone has been fully funded in just days, and it's expected to launch within 2025 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. See, Chernobylite 2 promises to be more of an open-world RPG than the original, letting you build your reputation by choosing what faction you want to try, be it humans, mutants, or even somewhere between in the middle. In fact, there are over 6 classes to choose from. Not only that, it'll have online co-op and melee combat as well. Check it out.
Create them in alternative realities and switch on the fly. Explore a fully open world. Travel freely across the vast, dangerous areas. Manage your companions wisely. Develop your base to cope with all adversities. You'll need every resource to complete your quest. The Zone awaits you.
At number 4, Rooted is a survival game set in a world where nature has actually taken over the cities. You play as one of the few survivors exploring forests, villages, and urban areas, letting you build your camp, craft items, and team up with friends to face the challenges together. This game is currently in early access on PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store. Developers are working pretty hard to improve the game based on player feedback, and for a visual glimpse into the game's world and mechanics, here's the trailer. Coming up behind that at number 4, we have Beneath. Well, Beneath, for those of you who somehow missed it, is a first-person action horror game that sends you in the depths of the ocean. You step into the shoes of a seasoned deep-sea diver, and you navigate a submerged world exploring the underwater stations, cool parts, unraveling this deep while managing limited resources. This game is developed by Camel 101, known for titles like Those Who Remain. In fact, Beneath is set to release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC soon. This game has generated a lot of attention for its atmospheric design and engaging narrative, and the official Steam page highlights the game's focus on exploration, combat within a dark, story-rich environment. On second hands, we've got here the much-awaited SCP Fragmented Minds, which is now finally coming out in just a couple of days. This is a first-person action survival horror game where players assume the role of a mobile task force soldier running this Mars site, which happens to be a vast and deteriorating SCP Foundation facility. The game offers a blend of combat, stealth, platforming, and crafting mechanics, allowing players to customize weapons and equipments to suit their playstyle. Multiplayer modes including Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, and this Hunt thing, which is a 4 vs 2 mode, will be the cherry on the top as well.
Left us all to rot away with their little secret.
If you find this, head to the tram system. Get inside the main facility.
The things they kept up here were some of the worst anomalies ever encountered.
Do not make direct. I repeat, do not make direct.
I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect
For those of you who missed it before, the standalone zombie adventure from Techland, Dying Light, The Beast, is now set to arrive in fall this year. The game set in a post-apocalyptic, once popular tourist destination, where after 13 years of enduring experiments, you escape and hunt down your captors to seek retribution. There are still people and factions here, as well as plenty of horrors, both in new. Of course, some will ask for your help, and others will want to kill you. On a need-to-know basis, at some point, you will play as the first game's protagonist.
Do you see who's the real beast here?
See, you're angry, but hear me out. You and your mates just stumbled into a rift. Think of it like a bubble of endless timelines, each different from the last. The problem is, entering a rift is a one-way ticket, and we need to figure out how to escape.
Announced for a little over a year now, Macabre here is a multiplayer horror game that blends stealth, horror, and cooperative gameplay into a unique genre dubbed stealth extraction horror. Now, the player is thrust into a volatile time rift, navigating infinite timelines, including those of other players, to extract valuable resources and escape, all while evading a terrifying, shape-shifting entity lurking within this rift. Macabre also emphasizes stealth mechanics and procedurally generated maps, offering a fresh and immersive experience for horror enthusiasts.
You're not entirely helpless. After all, you've got the atomic space shifter, which allows me to pull your consciousness back to my timeline, whether you make it to the extract or die trying. But Macabre isn't your run-of-the-mill alien thing. It's far more cunning. It stalks its prey, at first from a distance, and then quietly it gets closer, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Of course, you can't just pull out a blicky and blast poor Macabre away. It's a little more complicated. You're gonna need to be on the lookout for fragments scattered throughout the rifts. You can find them with your space shifter and bleed them from any timeline to yours. Fragments have many uses. We can craft tools and equipment that will help us deal with Macabre. But more importantly, I think they can help us find things that no one else has.
The woods are dark, and the woods lie deep, and the woods are home.
Coming from the creators of the Sniper Elite series, number 9, we've got here Atomfall. See, Atomfall here is a survival action game coming March 27th, though there was just released a new trailer for it, and it's all set in a post-nuclear disaster version of Northern England, in which you'll explore the countryside scavenging for supplies, crafting weapons, and fighting your way through dangerous zones. The combat looks pretty intense, blending marksmanship with gritty hand-to-hand brawls, and the narrative is driven by your interactions with the world around you. It is, I think, definitely one of those to keep an eye out for.
The last city of humanity.
On the other hand, AI Limit tosses you right into another mess where survival isn't just about what's left, it's about what's lost. You play as an immortal warrior roaming this side of the world's ruins in search of the truth. The environments, from creepy sewers to run-down slums, are more than just places to explore. They're pieces of a bigger puzzle. You will combat tough Dark Souls fights where every move counts, and if you like digging into deep stories while slashing through strategic battles, this one's gonna hook you. AI Limit is coming to PCs in PlayStation 5 March 27.
Unleash the inferno of war.
Into the abyss, the seekers shall uncover the veiled truth and awaken the dormant greatness within. When lofty will clashes with unwavering faith, the prayers of thousands shall illuminate the ultimate path. Life changes and transists. Only evolution remains constant.
With that being said, Blackfrost The Long Dark 2, the sequel to the acclaimed survival game The Long Dark, is actually in the aftermath of the first game's Aurora phenomenon, and the new game actually introduces a new survival sandbox where players can choose to survive alone or collaborate with others. The narrative unfolds a year after the world has plunged into darkness, with the inhabitants of Harmons and its expansive wilderness grappling with the quiet apocalypse. It emphasizes realism by removing traditional health bars and character levels, focusing instead on the psychological aspects of survival. Blackfrost is slated for a release in 2026. Ever wondered what it's like to be a delivery driver in a world fallen apart? Well, tiny hero Courier here lets you live that dream, but with a twist. Picture this: you're this guy, just an average guy trying to drop off packages while everything erupts around you. Zombies? Yep. Crazy, demanding bosses? Yeah, you bet. This game mixes fast-paced delivery missions with a quirky post-apocalyptic vibe, and the tilt-shift visuals make it all feel like you're zooming through this tiny yet dangerously unpredictable world. Each drop is more wild than the last one. Here's how it looks.
They're deceiving themselves. Trust me, Mistery. Will is the only thing that matters.
We mentioned this one many times. For those of you who missed it, Pioner drops you on a post-apocalyptic Soviet island where survival is the only thing that matters. The world is massive, 50 square kilometers, packed with mutants, anomalies, and factions to interact with. The game basically ditches traditional health bars and levels, focusing instead on realism, so to ramp up the intensity, lots of story-driven quests, battling other players, and lots of dangerous landscapes. It's got that mix of tension and freedom that keeps you hooked, with enough detail and variety to make each moment feel fresh and unpredictable.
People that are just like me, the same kind of hellraisers. We fight savagely with each other on the garbage dumps, like to the death. We fight for the loot. You can end up dead anywhere. literally kicking the bucket in the closest ditch. Keep your eyes wide open, otherwise they'll chew you to pieces. There are plenty of monsters around here, and it just so happens that the most dangerous of them...
5 long years in the dark of the ground.
Well, this has been a while, but Terminator Survivors is an open-world survival game set in the aftermath of Judgment Day. This game is set between the iconic films and casts you as a survivor in a desolate world overrun by Skynet's machines. This has been a while for sure, and if you missed it, this game offers both solo and co-op play, allowing you to scavenge resources, build bases, and fend off the Terminators. Now, while the concept is promising, the lack of recent gameplay footage raises concerns about how it's gonna end up, and the absence of a concrete release date is also another problem. Anyway, we're still looking for this game in 2025. Forest Reigns is another post-apocalyptic but first-person shooter, and it's actually set this version of Paris that has been overtaken by a forest. This game has been developed by a team of veterans from the Stalker series. It merges survival mechanics with RPG elements and emphasizes player-driven choices, offering interactions as the forest itself has a presence, described as having its own dreams and intentions. Kinda like the movie The Thing. Anyway, this game offers a pretty good-looking shooting mechanic, equipment modification, and lots of exploration. Currently, it's announced for PCs, but a release date has not yet been confirmed.
When the meteorite struck, it unleashed a hostile disease.
Chains of Freedom, though, puts you in charge of this elite squad in a dystopian Eastern European state. The gameplay is all about sharp tactics and making tough decisions that affect every mission that you start. The story promises a lot to keep things interacting with rogue scientists, mind control experiments, and a crumbling environment. With this backdrop, you're going to be able to customize your squad and figure out how the best strategy works for each challenge, or how rewarding it's going to be, and also the combat. Well, the game is definitely not that flashy, but it's pretty solid and engaging. If you like turn-based strategy with a focus on story and choices, this one's worth checking out.
Every victory brings us closer to retaining our freedom.
49 hours after the containment breach, the anomaly entities in Site 14 remains uncontrolled. If there are anyone alive who heard this broadcast, please go to the shelter in the southeast of Site 14 immediately.
Anyway, Mistery sounds like chaos in the best way possible. You're sent into this foggy, collapsing site with up to 9 other players, and by day, you're out there scavenging for resources, crafting, and desperately trying to stay alive. Sounds straightforward, right? No, because by night, the real fun begins. You've got to survive waves of monsters while trusting no one. Why? Well, one of your pals might be secretly an anomaly. That's the story. If you like the Among Us game, well, this is gonna be something like that. There's a lot of suspicion. And last but not least, Skydust is set in this post-apocalyptic cyberpunk world where everything's gone out of control. Picture there's going to be a lot of intense and fast combat that keeps you dodging, parrying, and dishing out damage reminiscent of Souls-likes. You're going to be scrapping for cash and upgrades while revealing secrets in this broken down society. And what's cool is how it mixes the dark vibes with tight, satisfying gameplay. It's the kind of game that pulls you in and doesn't let go. Coming soon to PCs.
Try not to die, okay?